And I'm Kennon.
And we are Illusion Filmworks. Welcome back to another episode of I've Seen That Movie Before. Mm-hmm. Okay, so today we're going to talk about two movies, two biopic movies actually. Ray and Walk the Line.
Musician biopic movies.
So it should be really, really interesting. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the board flip. So which movies did we like? You're about to find out. So on three, 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm talking about.
That's how it always is. That's how it always is.
And I always look at you for confirmation. I always look at you for confirmation.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
It's fine. It's fine. Well, I mean, what we're gonna do first is talk about what we liked. And I chose Ray because it was just a phenomenal story. Like, I was invested in this movie from start to finish. Like, I couldn't take my eyes away from it. Like, I truly, truly love this movie. And my favorite thing about this movie, though, is the fact that I went from rooting for Ray to hating him a little bit. Like, if you look at the entire movie as a whole, like, you start to really, really root for the guy. You want him to win. And then it's like, whoa, like, you're kind of a jerk, you know? But that's what I liked about this movie. What did you like about your movie?
I liked Walk the Line a little bit better than Ray. Now, let me start off by saying real quick that I did like both of these movies. It's not like some of our other episodes where I really had a preference of one over the other. I just happen to like Walk the Line better. I think some of the performances were better. I will say that Jamie Foxx does a great job as Ray Charles, but that character is so distracting. It's just like his crazy mannerisms and his voice.
Because
is
he's
just like,
blind.
No, but like just the way he speaks is so crazy. It reminded me of like watching a Bill Cosby biopic. If the actor who was playing Bill Cosby was constantly doing that zip zap zoopity zap thing the whole time. That's how I felt the entire time watching it.
I see how this is about to go.
No, it's not. I thought the story flowed a little bit better in Walk the Line. One thing that I noticed is that they're both kind of flashbacks. In that But the thing is that when Walk the Line started as a flashback, it started and then it progresses like a straight linear story.
Itself,
whereas Ray
you
was a
had those
bunch of flashbacks within
I actually like that, though. I
flashbacks.
don't know. I kind of like that feel. I got annoyed at first, but I really like it.
I would say that a few things I did like about Ray is that I think my favorite scene in Ray was when he's packing up his suitcase and he puts his hand in there and there's the water and the kid's hands come up. It's like, that I like. I like that a lot.
We'll talk about that later. I wasn't too thrilled with that, but I chose Ray anyways because I actually liked Ray for all the same reasons Mark really did. I thought the story was a lot better because we'll get more to the negative side stuff later. Because I was going to say with Walk the Line, I didn't really like the fact that at one point it just became about Johnny and June, and
we're going to have that same point, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that was the story. Like, I get that was the story of his life. But we had said it before. We had talked about it where we were like, it just felt like you knew they were going to be together. So why are we watching all this extra stuff?
Right.
You know, hang on, we're not.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get to your minute.
Right. We'll let you have your moment.
But the other things I liked about Ray was I felt like it was just creatively shot better. Because
Definitely. I really enjoyed Ray.
Yeah, it was just they really thought about how to move from one scene to another and things like that as well. And it was a lot more. I think it was a lot more colorful too than Walk the Line. Like, it had more colors pop out.
Right.
As well. So those were the things that I liked about Ray. Now we're going to transition into the things that we didn't like about each movie.
Yeah, you got to start it off?
I will start it off. Don't worry about that.
Do your thing.
All right, now, so sorry about that. We had a little technical issue again. Got it all figured out. So now we're transitioning into the stuff that we didn't like about each movie. And like I said earlier, for me it came down to story because both films were actually shot really well. Off camera, we were actually talking about the whole color thing and how you were saying that you liked the fact that June wore more bright dresses while
Johnny Cash
wore
It was a
black.
nice pop in difference. Like, you could always tell like the shades.
This is my
between
minute
each
though.
other.
So we were with that keeping in mind, I still feel like story-wise, what I was trying to say is that, like, camera work-wise, they're both really good films. But story-wise, I like Ray more because he becomes that more detestable character.
Yeah.
You don't really like the things he does.
Right.
but you understand, because if anything, the story of Rey is about power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Right. And that's kind of what he had at one point. He could just do whatever he wanted. Yeah. No consequences. Yeah. And then he does run into those consequences and how he reacts to them.
Right.
And that's why I like Rey more, because it felt like he was a genuine character versus with Walk the Line, the story really ended up just becoming about Johnny and June halfway through the movie. And it just had a bunch of filler in it that didn't feel necessary, because we could already see the ending, and so that's what I would have to say about what I didn't like about those films.
What about you? What did you not like about Rey?
The main things I didn't really like about Rey was, again, I thought it was interesting where it could jump back and forth in between flashback and flashback and flashback, but that kind of got a little grating over a long period of time, having to watch that over and over again. It's one of those weird things, is that when experimental storytelling, when things like that really can grate on you for a while, like I know you guys hate tangents, but I'm gonna do really quick one.
You got time. We're keeping on time.
It's similar to Pulp Fiction in a way, where Pulp Fiction is still a good movie, but there's absolutely no reason why it's shot out of sync, out of continuous order. Where some films like Memento, it makes perfect sense why a film is shot out of that way, but it just was a little bit grating to have to keep seeing that after a while. I did not know the story of Walk the Line or Johnny Cash or Rey before watching either one. And one thing that I thought was interesting with Walk the Line, that I thought made it a little bit more dynamic for me, and which was a little bit more predictable with Rey, is that I didn't realize that Johnny Cash left his first wife to be with her. And in most biopics, especially, with Rey as well, he has the main girl, and they're always doing the cheating and the drugging and the side. Right. But, Rey always stayed with her, whereas most of these other movies, the same formula, which is like halfway through Johnny Cash is like, you know what, I kind of just am going to abandon my responsibilities, and I'm not going to try to make it up with my wife. I'm not going to try to be a better father for my kids when they're younger. He does try to do a little bit more of that later in life. Yeah. But I thought that was, that felt so much colder and so much more. It's like, I understood that, Rey became like a megalomaniac, power hungry. I'm like, this is my business. I'm going to do this in a way. But that was such a subtle, like a lot more personal, I think, is that like.
All right, your time's up. Mark?
Well, I disagree. And the reason why I feel like the story of Rey is so much more colder, and we were talking off camera about how, like what you said, like, they leave his wife and they try to do the right thing. But with Rey, I felt like it was a little bit colder, because he did have his mistress. He had two mistresses, actually. And he looked him dead in the eye and said, I'm not leaving my family for you, like, at all. Like, it was so cold. Like, you could feel, like, dang, like, that's.
He looked him dead in the eye.
He looked him dead in the eye. It was like.
Man looked him dead in the eye.
Oh. Okay, you got me. You got me. I'll let him have it.
I would not have caught that.
I will let him, because that was phenomenal. That was really good. But I did not like Walk the Line. For the same reasons you didn't. Like, I really felt like the story became more about their love story than it was actually his life. And, with Walk the Line, I felt like by the end of the movie, I really felt like I didn't see everything that happened. With Rey, I really felt like I saw it all. The heroin, the drugs, like everything. I felt like I saw it all by the end of Rey. And then with Walk the Line, it felt like they were showing me a little bit, but not everything. And that kind of bugged me. Like, it gave me a sense of, this isn't complete. Like, I'm not seeing everything, and that's why ultimately for me, I was like, no, I can't do it,
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, since we got a little bit of extra time here.
Yeah.
It's interesting you bring that up, because I was reading an article about how Johnny Cash's daughter, or no, it was one of their daughters, anyways, regardless, she was talking about how she went and saw the movie the day it came out, and she actually, I think, walked out on it because it portrayed her mother, which was I can't remember her name.
Jennifer
but the first
Goodwin.
girl.
Jennifer Goodwin was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
actress.
the actress, but I forgot what the character's name was, or not the character, but his first wife.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was her name?
Melanie, something like
Yeah,
that. I
it
think
was. I
something
think it
like
was.
that.
It was
Mel
Melanie.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
But anyways, she was talking about how it depicted her mother as this kind of heartless person who
Right.
didn't care about his music,
Right.
when the truth was it was far from that.
Right.
That she really did care about his music and dreams and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Johnny was just kind of a dick.
Right.
You know?
But I didn't get that though. Like what she
No, the
said.
movie
I really
didn't
get
portray him like that.
Well, I
Well-
didn't get that from the mother character. Like I felt like her mom was really trying to keep the family
I
together.
had a lot more sympathy for the mom.
Right. Me
character
too.
than-
Me too. You know.
Well, I could see why she would say that though, because it did kind of put her off as like I mean, I think she literally had a line in the movie where she was like, "Just give up on that dream. Like
Right.
you need to get a real job so we can afford to, you know."
Dang, that
you
was
know.
kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like, I get what she's saying in that regard. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But go ahead. What you
Well,
saying?
that's it. I mean, I'm opening up the floor for counter arguments. at this
Oh,
point.
well, what I was gonna say about Walk the Line was it was one scene that I really did like, and he was putting up pictures in his new house.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
I know what scene you're talking
And
about.
he
yeah.
puts up the picture of
of June.
right,
and the wife
and he
just
put it
goes
up, and she
ballistic.
goes. And she's like, she's so upset, and I just love that scene because you can feel like that
Yeah.
tension. Like I felt uneasy.
It's
you know
a
what I mean?
relatable issue. Like, how would you feel if your significant
I'd be
other
pissed.
put a big ass picture up in your house of this
Of
person
someone
that
who they
were
care
hitting
about.
on?
Yeah, like I'd be upset, man. And I just like that scene. For me, it did so much, and it actually made me like the movie a little bit more. That one scene, I thought so.
One quick thing that I wanted to point out is that both of these movies have deaths of siblings of the main characters
Yeah,
in
that
the
is
like the
interesting.
beginning. Both
Well,
brother
those were
deaths.
true as
They
well.
were, I know.
Yeah,
And
but
That's
they
just a weird coincidence, though, isn't it?
It is a weird coincidence, but they also dramatized Ray's brother's death more because he wasn't traumatized.
Right.
Like I think he or somebody else said that in an interview. They said that he didn't. It happened at a young
He didn't
age.
see it.
Yeah, I mean, he probably saw it
It was
because
before he lost his eye.
Yeah,
It was before he lost his vision.
but it didn't affect him as much as the movie made it out to be.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I guess you do kind of have to, when you are doing that type of movie,
I'm sure.
you do
I'm
kind
sure
of.
like the blow and the hookers probably affected him.
And
you know.
honestly, I think that subplot was handled better in Walk the Line because that dad in Walk the Line, you could tell that the kid who died was his favorite son. He was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And he was
Well,
just
that's
like,
not even
he-
true
he
either,
laid
though.
it
That
on.
didn't happen.
in
like,
the film.
in
it
the
did.
no, yeah, but like but that's the unique opportunity we have here.
Right.
Is because these are stories based off of true things that
events,
happen, and it's kind of the idea of how Hollywood. I mean, they are true events.
I know,
There's
but
no
like, I
need
meant
to do-
true events in Hollywood
Yeah,
sense is that
yeah.
they always do that, where they're made
No,
based
that-
on real events.
That's what I was getting ready to say. It was like they, for lack of a better word, dramatize it, and build up certain things that just didn't really happen in life.
Yeah,
So.
definitely, man.
Final thoughts, anybody?
Final thoughts on this one? Do I have any final thoughts? You guys go first, and then I'll see if I
Does
say
it,
something.
does it help that I kind of like Johnny Cash's music more than Ray Charles'
It probably
music?
does.
That
That's
I
probably why
prefer
you
Walk
walk,
the
like,
Line
They were in the
to-
same time period too.
No, Johnny Cash was before Ray Charles.
Really?
Because remember,
yeah, 'cause
Johnny
they had a
Cash
scene
was
with Elvis
during
Presley.
yeah, he was during the rock and roll
true,
boom
true,
of
true.
like the 50s and 60s.
Which I didn't
with
realize that was
Elvis.
Elvis until I read it
I didn't
afterwards.
either.
Yeah.
I didn't at first, but the second he was like, "Y'all want some chili cheese fries?" I was like, "Oh, that's Elvis."
There you go.
Yeah,
There it is.
I
Yeah.
think they had a cameo by Buddy Holly and a couple other of those characters from back then.
Well, are you saying your final thoughts?
I think I've got my final thoughts for the most part.
I mean, my final thoughts is just what I said before. Like, I just feel like Walk the Line, like, at the end of it, I really felt like it was lacking. I really felt like I was missing something or not seeing his complete life. you
Yeah.
know? But that's it for me on Walk the Line. But Ray was phenomenal. My last point on Ray, the acting was phenomenal.
Oh,
Because,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was
Acting.
watching this movie, and I literally forgot it was Jamie Foxx. It didn't even cross my mind one time. Because I grew up looking at a sitcom. So I think about him as a funny guy, as a joking type of guy. And so, like, for me, like, it was just like, man, this guy's amazing. Like, I really didn't think about it being Jamie Foxx at all. But that's my final thought on Ray.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, my final thought is, you know what? I'm going to start doing a new thing, I think, in our films. I'm going to recommend movies.
Okay.
And I say I'm going to recommend watching Ray. Because I think if it came down to it, you had to pick the same two movies. I recommend watching Ray because the story will have you more involved. You'll feel more sympathy for the character.
You will.
It's
true. He's right.
No,
He's right, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, like with I'm not saying anything horrible about Walk the Line, but it's just you reach a certain point in Walk the Line where it's not interesting to watch anymore. It just becomes a hassle to get to the end because
That is
you
true.
know
That's
you know what's coming.
That's true.
Like, you know
That's
what's
true.
coming,
Because
and you just
I
keep
felt the
building it
exact
up.
same
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean?
It was very hard for me to finish watching Walk the Line, but it was very easy for me to finish watching Ray.
Right.
So I would recommend watching Ray.
Me too. I like
And
Ray.
Anybody else want to say anything?
No, I think we all got it.
Yeah.
I'm Zach.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Kennon.
We are Illusion Filmworks, and this has been. Let's see how I queued it off to you. That shit was sweet.
No, I thought you were gonna go.
I didn't know where you were going. So.
Well, I thought you were about to say the name of it. Like I
no,
thought you
I
were about
was
to say
just
the
gonna
name
be
of
like,
the show.
and we're done. Like,
Oh, my bad. Well, we are Illusion Filmworks. This has been another episode of I've seen that movie before. Did I get the
you
name
got
right?
it right. You got
All
it
right, cool. All right, see y'all later.
See you.